A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant and potentially historic announcement, British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer declared on Tuesday that the United Kingdom is poised to recognize the state of Palestine within weeks unless Israel takes decisive actions to address the ongoing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. This shift in UK foreign policy marks a pivotal moment in the long-standing Israeli-Palestinian conflict, particularly as it comes in response to the deteriorating conditions in the Gaza Strip, where the humanitarian situation has reached alarming levels. Starmer, recalling senior ministers for an emergency cabinet meeting, emphasized the urgency of the situation, stating, "Now is the right time to move this position regarding the two-state solution." The Prime Minister's ultimatum to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government suggests that the UK could formally recognize Palestine as early as the upcoming United Nations General Assembly in September. This announcement was met with applause at the UN, as Foreign Secretary David Lammy conveyed the potential for a historic turning point, particularly given Britain's historical role in the establishment of modern-day Israel. However, Netanyahu swiftly condemned the move, arguing that it rewards Hamas's monstrous terrorism and poses a threat to both Israel and the UK. The Prime Minister's decision comes amid mounting pressure from various factions within the UK Parliament, with over 250 MPs signing a letter urging the government to recognize Palestine as a state. Starmer articulated that the British public is revolted by the scenes of starvation and suffering emerging from Gaza, emphasizing the need for a significant increase in humanitarian aid deliveries. He called for at least 500 trucks to enter Gaza daily to alleviate the dire situation. Furthermore, Starmer reiterated the UK's unwavering stance against terrorism, demanding that Hamas release hostages, agree to a ceasefire, disarm, and relinquish any role in the governance of Gaza. The Prime Minister expressed concern that without timely recognition of a Palestinian state, the prospect for a two-state solution may diminish further. He noted, "It's driven today by two things: the intolerable situation in Gaza, which is worsening daily, and the diminishing possibility of a two-state solution." The emergency cabinet meeting followed discussions with French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who are also advocating for the recognition of Palestine. Starmer's move represents a compromise aimed at addressing the competing factions within his cabinet, as some members support recognition while others fear it may inadvertently empower Hamas. Notably, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and Foreign Secretary David Lammy have been vocal proponents of recognizing Palestine, while others, including Chancellor Rachel Reeves, have expressed concerns about the implications of such a recognition. Lammy, speaking at the UN, underscored the UK's special burden of responsibility to support the two-state solution, condemning Israel's rejection of this path as morally and strategically misguided. Labour MP Sarah Champion, who spearheaded the letter advocating for recognition, described the moment as politically significant, asserting that it sends a strong message to Israel regarding the self-determination of the Palestinian people. However, critics, including members of Labour Friends of Israel, cautioned that recognition without a meaningful peace process would be merely symbolic and could undermine the UK's role as an impartial broker in the region. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch criticized Starmer's approach, labeling it as political posturing that would not resolve the ongoing conflict or facilitate humanitarian aid. As the UK prepares for the UN General Assembly in September, the world watches closely, anticipating whether this historic shift in policy will pave the way for a renewed commitment to peace in the region or further complicate an already fragile situation. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.